Hi guys, Dahlia here, welcome to my channel. I know I've taken ages to upload this video, but here it is. This is my guide to creating fictional holidays or celebrations, whichever one you want to choose. As with our world, your fictional world might hold some days in high regard, such as the day that the founders of the land, found the land, or the day your people's saviour was born or died, such as the pagan turned Christian holiday of Christmas. No matter what country you're from, I can guarantee that you celebrate at least one thing a year. Whether this is your birthday or a day for honouring your god or gods, you'll celebrate at least one thing. So let's jump right into it. So first of all, why do I keep saying holiday or celebration? Well, that's because they're not the same thing. A holiday is when people come together generally to celebrate one thing, say with Easter, where they generally get the day off. This might differ between the countries of your world. In Australia, we celebrate Anzac Day, which is a day to commemorate Australian and New Zealand soldiers throughout history of wars. But nowhere else is this celebrated other than Australia and New Zealand. A celebration is something a small group of people observe, such as a birthday or a wedding. These events might be life-changing to some people, but they're not nationally recognised. No one's going to take the day off work just to annually celebrate a wedding. Unless it is the wedding of the saviours who, save the land, then it would be a holiday, something that is nationally recognised by all the people involved. With that out of the way, basically there are two options you want to consider when making your own holiday or celebration. Number one, basing it loosely on existing celebrations or holidays. Number two, creating it from scratch. If you're basing it on something that you already celebrate, you'll want to think about a couple of things. How would it be celebrated in your world? How is the celebration different between that of your world and that of Earth? Because I take it that your world isn't Earth, and therefore your people appreciate different things and celebrate things differently and think about things differently. In Jennamariea's soon-to-be-released The Saviour's Champion, Tobias, the main character, is not fond of the day that marks the Saviour's birth. But the rest of the realm of Thesson are pretty much obsessed with it, because she came along and suddenly their crops started growing again, and everything just happened the way it was supposed to happen. So she marks a huge moment in history. If you can't think of how your people would celebrate this holiday or celebration, then think of your genre. If you're writing science fiction, the child might sit on a Santa like robot's knee to ask for presents. If dystopian, then your people might pray to a Santa-like being to save their lands. If fantasy, the people might dress up as Santa and then party with the talking animals. If you're leaning more towards creating your own from scratch, then there are a lot of things to consider. In my work in progress, the Bruner Coviens celebrate a religion that's called Bruner, which is basically worshipping a healing light. One of the celebrations for this religion occurs on the longest day of the moon. The people stay up all night on a herb that has amphetamine effects and strip naked to be one with the earth. This gives them the power to continue as a race for the next 12 months. And this celebration is called Ovaki. Now, I said that it was a celebration, but it is actually a holiday because no one in Bruner works during this time. Before I move on to the specifics of holidays and celebrations, I'll give you a few major holiday types that might give you somewhere to go from. So number one is religions such as Christ's birthday. Number two is sacrificial for the god or gods. Consider Mayan traditions with this. Number three is love, lust, fertility. So say something like Valentine's Day. Number four is war and independence, so such as Thanksgiving or Independence Day or Anzac Day. Number five is birth, such as your birthday, or the birth of a special being, such as England's Queen. Number six is rites of passage, which is more like a coming of age thing. This goes past the whole birthday sort of idea. In Australia, the Aborigines once sent their kids out into the bush in order to survive and come back a man, basically. Number seven is graduation, say from college or university. Number eight is wedding or engagement or some sort of union. Nine is anniversaries, so say something like the anniversary of your marriage or an anniversary of a death. A lot of cultures symbolize that sort of ideal, like in Mexico with Dia de los Muertos. Number 10 is honor, such as Mother's Day or Father's Day. And number 11 is things such as carnivals, which kind of just pop up every now and again. They're not necessarily a strictly annual thing. With that in mind, here are a few things you want to consider when creating your own holiday or celebration or adapting them from existing ones. Number 1, what is the date of your holiday or celebration? If you have your world mapped out, you might also have included a calendar. And if you haven't, I highly recommend making one, as this will help you to write chronologically. Number 2 is the history. How has it changed since traditions? How has it been adapted for the modern day? If large sacrifices were once a huge part of the holiday or the celebration, perhaps nowadays it's seen as wrong because the people have adapted and they don't have the same ideals as their ancestors. Who created the celebration or holiday? Why was it created? How is your holiday or celebration honoured? Do the people dress differently for such an occasion? If so, what do they wear and why do they wear this? Are there specific rituals that must be performed? If so, why? What's the intended outcome? What is mandatory, recommended and forbidden during this time? Number 4, what is the name of this occasion? Why was this name chosen and what does it represent? Are there specific foods or drinks that have to be consumed on this day? Or do your people fast? 6. What entertainment is included? Music, beat poems, or readings from a holy transcript? What happens to prep before the holiday or celebration? Are wild beasts hunted and then cooked, prepared for the day? Or do people buy gifts for one another, like with Christmas? Number 8, what happens after the occasion? Do people nurse their hangovers? Do they begin preparing for the next celebration or holiday? Or does life return to normal, the people relatively unchanged? Number 9, do your people get the day off? Or are they expected to work harder? Do they get more pay or perhaps less hours? Maybe a bonus lump sum of money? Number 10. Is the occasion loud or quiet? Do they stay silent to respect the gods? Or are they noisy to scare away demons? Ultimately, you'll want to ask yourself what matters most to the people of your world. If it is food, then it will make sense to create a holiday around the cooking and consumption of food. If they prefer family, perhaps they get the day off to spend just with their family and do family-oriented things. If their lives revolve around a royal, perhaps they grovel or spend the day competing for the affections. This could be through ball dance competition, this could be through brutal battles. So that concludes this video on creating holidays and celebrations. It is intentionally basic and vague because I will be going more into this kind of thing during my world building series. Keep an eye out for the people section of my world building series where you'll get to know more about creating religions, which generally ties into this whole theme. As always, if you have any questions or want me to cover a specific topic, please drop a comment below. If you want to follow my journey on other platforms, then please see the information in the description bar below. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, Tumblr, and I post writerly videos on Thursdays, so please subscribe and hit that little notification bell so you can see more of my wonderful little face. Or if you just want to be notified that I put up a new video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next Thursday. Bye!